everyone, my name is Rage and welcome to an all to Afterbirth Plus, and I cannot believe that Samson has not done a greedy emoji yet, which is something I think we really need to fix, because quite frankly that is absolutely absurd. That is a fantastic good foot item. That means we're going to be definitely growing strong throughout this episode, and the damage boost is a very, very healthy thing to begin with, and the fact that we're playing Samson obviously means that we've got ourselves the bloody lust, and getting those extra bombs really quick are really fantastic too, which also means we can damage ourselves because of the health that's there because of the bloody lust, which means we get to start on even more damage. I'm actually kind of convinced to use a bomb on that just because it's earlier stage. If we got some keys, oh hell, that definitely paid for itself. That's absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, now we can get the item room straight away, which is incredible. Hopefully we get something good in there as well, and that is fantastic. Not as good, really. Not as good at all, but yeah, I am kind of feeling fine about this one right here. What do you think, everyone? How many of you questioned that? How many of you accepted that? Because it often occurs to me that when you're familiar with someone, when you are, you're very close to them, you know them well, everything is okay, and then they just start doing something a little bit not normal, your first instinct isn't to be like, ho, 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 hold up, bitch, I noticed you're doing something different, what up with that? You know, that's not what you do. You don't just suddenly start talking like that, because that would be really weird. No, you don't question them, right? At least I don't. Normally, I'm like, well, I know them, I trust them, I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Because let's say, you go visit your family member or something, right? And you're like, hey, how you doing? And instead of how they normally speak, they do just suddenly come at you with a really fast talk like this, hardly going to take any breaks. But apart from that, they're completely normal. Everything else is absolutely the same. I mean, would you ask? Would you actually be like, why are you talking like that? Or would you just kind of have a moment of acceptance? I'm not actually sure which one I would do. I think if it kept happening, I'd probably ask, but I think if it was just like a one time, I'd be like, huh, that was weird, but I guess whatever, right? That's fine. I don't know. I think I'd have a hard time. I'm saying this because I had a very weird dream last night where I was at like a meeting for some reason. I don't know why it was a meeting. I really don't. I have a feeling it's because I've been watching Iron Fisting recently, the latest in the long line of Marvel shows, and probably should have phrased that quicker and better than, yeah, I've been watching some right Iron Fisting recently. That's not something you want to advertise that you've been watching. It is very good, though. And it's not the best of them, definitely, but it's not horrible. But either way, there's a lot of businessy stuff that happens in it, so I guess that's why I dreamt this as a business meeting. But, well, I walked in the room, and it's one of those big, opulent business suites, big wooden table, lots of chairs, and like all my friends and family are there sat round it as if like they're waiting for me, like some sort of weird intervention. And I sit down, like this is completely normal to me, like it wasn't actually an intervention, it's like we were expecting this to happen, it's just like a normal meeting that occurs. I was apparently late for it, so they were waiting for me. And then the weirdest thing happened, everyone that spoke was speaking in someone else's voice from around the table. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. My dream self was actually like, yeah, this is completely and utterly fine. That is totally cool. And then they just started talking about weird, normal, everyday things. Like imagine if instead of going and meeting up with your friends, having a good time out in a location that, you enjoy and everything's great, it's like you go, yo, let's hang out at a business meeting and catch up, and it's like, no, that's not what you do, but apparently that's what was going on there. We were having, like, the bored business breakdown of our daily lives, but in each other's voice. And then it came time for me to speak, and I opened my mouth, and I had frickin' Danny's voice just echoing out of my mouth. And I'm like, alright, at this point, I feel like my dream self realized something, because I kind of woke up a little bit. I don't know if I class that as a nightmare. Is that a nightmare? If you were just chilling along in your daily life, and then people that you knew started talking in the voice of other people that you knew, but no one apart from you seemed to be mentioning it, is that a nightmare, or is that just, it happens, I guess I'll just deal with it? Like, what kind of situation is that? I don't really know how best to define it. Come on, it could be worse, right? I guess could definitely be on the worst side of things. What do we got here? Anything worthwhile? Anything at all? Nothing really. Okay, let's move on to the next floor and hope for much better. I mean, getting a reusable bomb isn't horrible in Greed much. definitely a better item than it would be in normal, but still not amazing. Oh, cursed. Cursed eye. Cursed eye there. That's, alright, cool. That didn't even hit. Not that I expected it to. The range on that tends to be awful. I guess I'll get the matchbook just because the extra bombs are going to be nice. And then I'll also quickly damage myself there. Cool, that didn't work out, but it's alright. These pills are going to be amazing. Power pill! Range up, I guess that's at least positive. Look down, not so much, but we at least get to leave the room, so we got that going for us, which is nice. I am a little bit worried for this, I'll admit. I'm a little bit concerned. You know, that's just not a trinket that I want. How about this? The devil's not horrible. It might give me a nice amount of power for this floor, and then we can get Mr. Dolly, which is some tears up and stuff, but oh god, it's not really what I'm after here. At least we should absolutely thrash this floor. Alright, at least we got that going on. So, yeah, that's happened. You know, everyone's speaking in different voices and stuff, and would you consider that a nightmare? And then, second, part B to this question, of course, because, you know, we've got to have multiple choice. I hope you're all paying attention. There will be a test at the end of the week. I hope you're all ready for that. This is not optional participation here. But if you have to choose between everyone that you know randomly talking in the voice of someone else, but apart from that everything is normal, or if you have to choose everyone's head being swapped onto everyone else you know's bodies, but apart from that everything is normal as everything could be in a situation where a head swap has occurred. But which one do you which one would you prefer to happen for you? Does your answer change if it's only for a day? Because actually, this kind of puts on to something that I've often had kind of night fantasies about, which sounds really, really creepy when I say it out loud. I've never really said out loud. So let me tell you about my night fantasies. Oh yeah, that's not really something I was expecting to say today, my word. Either way, we'll get back to this. So I kind of woke up after this, what I guess is a nightmare, and I felt the need to wake Danny up to let her know this has happened, because obviously, like, this is ridiculous. What the hell is going on? And she's like, what do you want? She's like half asleep, and I'm like, I stole your voice! And I swear to God, she just turned over and refused to talk to me until we went back to sleep. That was their response to that. And yeah, I don't blame her. I don't, but she needed to know I stole her voice. I must have still been half asleep or something, because I don't know why I felt that was so important. But yeah, night fantasies. So these are what I would call when you're going to sleep and you, oh my fucking tasty god, yes. That was that was a key secret room right there. Wow, that's what I kind of wanted to see. Whew, that is very, very good. I mean, yes, we did lose the Belial damage up to do this, but I don't think it's too bad of a compromise, especially with how fast we are killing things thanks to the bloody last. Yes, indeed. Looking lovely. Again, a much better item on greed mode than others, I would say. But yeah, when you're going to sleep and stuff, do you imagine yourself in, like, situations that are weird, cool, interesting? Like, I like to imagine myself having a telekinetic battle with an alien overload. Overload? Yes, alien overload. Alien overlord, you know, stuff like that, you know, basic stuff like that. Let's use it twice. Why the hell not? Lots of hearts is lots of hearts. And then we'll save one more for the next devil deal. So that wasn't horrible. And we can afford to do a little bit of re-rolling, rolling. Ooh, do I get the coat hanger? Do I get the... I think I do, because it will at least give us nearing the tier cap, which is pretty good. At least the tier cap we can get to without special items that surpass the cap. Good old cap surpassing. So I need to go to the greed floor with lots of health, so I can bloody lust it up. But yeah, I like to imagine myself having a telekinetic battle with an alien overlord and various stuff like that. Ooh, egg tears are actually really good. Like, I think they are a very nice little item. That's gonna... Yes, there we go. We're on that magical 5. So one of the ones that I've often thought about, that I've oft wondered what it would be like to experience, is if you had the power to take control of somebody's body, but not in, like, a... I don't know how best to say it, not in like a I'm controlling you, you have to do what I say, you're my puppet kind of way, but I mean like almost like a temporary brain transplant where you host them and you walk around, you feel what they would feel. It basically is just like your brain in the other person's body, and you know, you're zonked out while you're doing this. And I mentioned stuff like a while ago in Isaac, I think, but that was back when I was trying to use this power to take over your household, but you know, that has happened long ago. Have you actually asked the people that you live with if they remember you recently? You might be surprised. God, that would be freaky, wouldn't it? If you're watching a YouTube video and the guy talking says something like that and you actually turn around and your family are aliens. That would be a plot twist and a half. That would make this a video that you would not forget, I think. And I think, you know, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give you an experience that you won't forget, like me having stole your family secretly and replaced them with slightly different but mainly the same clones of an alien origin. I think that's something we could all really get behind. So yeah, we're getting a lot of flies and spiders from these tiers, which is great because we do have such a high tier rate. So honestly, things are looking pretty good for this. But yeah, that's always one that I thought about, because it would be very hard to not rationalize abusing a power like that, wouldn't it? I feel like it really would be a difficult thing. Like, seriously, you just would, wouldn't you? Like, I mean, would you use it on anyone? Would you use it on people that you knew? Because would that be weird? Because you could use it on someone, walk them somewhere, and then stop, and then they'd be like, how did I get here? And that would be like such a cool, super cool prank, yo. No, I feel like that's a really limited way of using a power like that. I have the power to inhabit someone's body. What did you do with it? I made them walk somewhere! It's not really, it's like a 5-year-old's idea of mischief, you know, it's it's like, I had an extra sweet, oh my god, I'm such a badass. Yeah, it's not really exactly what I was going for there, but alright, let's say I grant you the power to inhabit someone's mind for an hour, and then you get kicked out, and you can do this 3 times. Would you just save it for a situation, or do you actually think there's a sitch which you would be like, cool, I'm going to immediately use this? Is there something in your life that would make you go, yep, I actually really do need to use this right now. I could do something very cool with this. Because you could do something as simple as taking someone over, making them sign something, making them do something that they can't back out of once you've done. Because you've got to do something that means that when they have control again back, they can't just, you know, undo whatever it is that you did. Otherwise, you're massively wasting your time. So you've got to think about those things. I am going to get moldy bread just because it's cheap and because I thought it had an effect that it did that it doesn't have, apparently. I really thought it came with a bonus effect. Why did I think that? Why did I think that? I am going to go into this chest because I've got a good feeling. I mean, technically I would say that feeling was still good because it just gave us a load of bombs, which is actually awesome. And then I'm also going to do this and start powering myself up just a little bit, and we'll also see what we get from our friend here. You gonna give me something here, buddy? You gonna power pill? I mean, I guess that's okay. It lets us use him a lot more without actually taking the damage, so that's convenient. And hey, that, however, is very, very, very nice. So let's grab that heart. Yes, let's grab that heart, and then let's re-roller, roller. Personally, I don't actually know if there's anything I'd want to use immediately. I mean, maybe. I probably should have got BFF now, but I didn't think I'd get 2 orbitals like this. But then again, you never do you? So it's not like it's something you can prepare for. Ooh, yeah, you know what? Let's use a bomb in here. Just because the stone chests have been pretty good to me recently, and yeah, that is absolutely no exception. So we are so ready to destroy this floor. Look at my pulsing egg sacs firing forth and just annihilating everything. We could really do with Hive Mind. That is something I definitely would need to get if I got the opportunity. But so far, it's not presented itself. No, indeed. But yeah, I've had some very weird night fantasies in my day, and it's still kind of freaking me out that I'm referring to them as that. Like, you don't want anyone to walk past while watching this video and hear, so, night fantasies, because at that point, it's questionable. You know, I got a comment the other day that someone was like, you know, I bet if you followed Rage's advice for a week, you'd probably die. And initially, I started to type, no, come on, don't be ridiculous, it's not that bad. And then I started to actually ponder it further with some further pontification, and I had this kind of, actually, they might be right. Like, if you took your life actions, right, if you did things based on just what I said in an Isaac video, can you imagine the lifestyle that you'd have? I feel like it's actually really, really bad. I really hope there's no one out there at all that genuinely, like, believes. I mean, obviously the stories are true, otherwise what's the point in telling them? But there's no one out there that takes my stupid advice, or I guess more accurately follows my example on some things. Because a lot of the time, let's just say, I don't act in the more normal ways. In fact, somebody showed me a picture of something I did years ago, which is I went to LA for a competition, and back then I was still fairly new to YouTube. I hadn't really got my kind of, I don't really care anymore confidence, because, you know, back then I still cared a little bit what people thought of when they looked at me and, you know, saw me, which I think is a perfectly reasonable thing. But now I'm like, I don't care what I'm appearing to people like, awkward, normal, it's probably awkward, but whatever, you know, what absolutely ever. Like, you know the type of phrases where you'll say them and then the people that you're with will be like, shh, what are you doing saying that, right? Like, what the fuck? You know, those type of phrases. Yeah, those things constantly now, you know, absolutely just constantly. Oh, I should have picked that up when Cube of Meat was a little bit further round. Now I've just got a cubey face. That was a grave, grave error on my part, but there's not really much I can do about it. Let us head on. I mean, I don't mind guillotine. I really don't, and I think there is potential for it here, but god damn. But yeah, it was back when I still cared, and I realized that most of that trip, I just kind of spent it awkwardly on my phone, because I still was of the opinion that, well, if I'm on my phone, clearly it looks like I'm busy doing something very important and not trying to very obviously avoid this conversation. So clearly this is a hilariously intelligent ploy here. And, you know, I realize now that, you know, it's not great. Not great. It was just really, really poor, in fact. But at the same time, I don't know. I was always an awkward kid. I mean, I'm still an awkward adult, but it matters less now because I am an adult. So instead of people thinking, oh, poor kid, bless him, people just think, honey, stay away from the weird man. And, you know, in some ways, that's probably better. How did I even get on this topic? I don't really know. I am going to blow up this tinted rock because I believe, it's not horrible, right? So, in terms of itemage, we actually got some pretty good stuff on this floor. Like, the piercing tears, obviously amazing. And anything crazy there? Relic generator, do I even care? I don't think I inherently do. Pulse worm, not really. So I guess we'll just work on doing the floor. Though I could tower this room. You know what, let's tower it up, and yay, we're going to get a reroll. How convenient is that? And we're going to get the spun transformation, which is even more convenient. So, all in all, this has been a pretty solid bit of Greed. God, I love Greed solids. I really do. Fantastic food. Really is. Okay, careful. Everything's gotta be careful. Everything's gotta be careful. Alright, good times. It did suck the other week. I had to cancel my driving lesson because of my injured knees. And my instructor is a little bit of a weird individual, as you've known from a few stories. And I had the phone call of, yeah, I can't, I just can't. He's like, what's wrong? It's like, I can't bend my knees. He was like, what do you mean you can't bend your knees? I was like, I can't bend my knees. Yeah, but what do you mean you can't bend your knees? And I was like, I can't bend my knees because I hurt them. How did you hurt your knees? I was like, I can't bend them because of the gym. You bent your knees at the gym? No, I can't. And we just had a fucking Chuckle Brothers level conversation about it. And I don't, for the life of me, know how it happened, whatsoever. But then it meant that the following driving lesson was just half an hour while, you know, I'm being taught and driving around the place. Because I'm at the point where I just need experience driving. I don't need, you know, constant do this, do that, because I can pretty much drive now. So it was just half an hour of me having to explain why I accidentally hurt myself at the gym, while this dude who... Look, I'll be honest with you, looks like he's never seen a gym in his life, is trying to tell me about how when he was my age, oh, you should have seen him, and trying to give me all this, like, really horrible advice to, I don't know, it was almost, it was weird. It was just a really weird experience. Have you ever had that? Someone who clearly knows nothing try and tell you loads of information about something just because they want to appear, I don't know, like, helpful, cool, you know, something along those lines. I'd rather keep this, because, look, I'm rationalizing it because the brimstone from that doesn't do enough to really affect the Ultra Greed fight, whereas this bomb still might come in handy in terms of re-rolling something, or doing just something in general, so... I think that's the way to go here. Alright, downwards once more. I mean, we've still got a pretty good synergy, a pretty good setup, a pretty good chance. I just think that maybe we need one final push, and that is definitely something I would consider as one final push. If only there was just a general animal transformation. How useful would that be? I think that would be great. So, for now, I think we're re-rolling. We don't need the D4, though it does really like giving me the D4 in grade. We'll take that, definitely. Ooh, Ludo, 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 Ludo. No, I think Ludo is honestly a downgrade here. It's not often I say that. It's not often I say that, but I really think that it is. So for now, we're just going to keep bombing this. We don't need Binky. Our tiers are absolutely fine. I guess we'll get the mulligan, just extra flies and spiders. I mean, it's cheap anyway. Right now, we just want the most itemage for our buck possible. So we're going to keep rolling until either it breaks or we're out of bombs. Looks like out of bombs is the one. I could get 4 spirit hearts. That's actually not a horrible investment in my current setup, because I obviously do want to get to the point where I have... maximum bloody lust going on for me, which should be pretty damn good. I mean, we've still got the devil deal on this floor. We're absolutely hammering with damage at the moment, and because we've got Cricket's head damage multiplier, each bloody lust bit is even better. So I do genuinely think that just grabbing 4 spirit hearts just for the purpose of being hit more is actually kind of a good deal here. I really do. I mean, perhaps I'm wrong. I don't know. I just don't know whether to spend my money on some pajamas or wait and see if Satan offers me something. You know, how often in life do you find yourself making these decisions? I still find myself completely and utterly convinced that you could completely pass yourself off as insane and successfully get inundated into an asylum by simply asserting and recounting Isaac runs as to be the truth. Like, you really could. Because you're trying to talk to a psychiatrist about stuff that happens on an Isaac run and maintaining that it really did happen and it happened to you and you had to make that decision. You totally could. And yes, I know what you're going to say. Well, a lot of... Okay. Alright, that's unexpected. I can't not get Mega Blast, right? You can't not get, like, let's not go crazy here. There is a limit. And I think, yeah, we definitely get ourselves the hearts there. I think that's the way to go. So, really, we're kind of on the done side of things, because there's not much else I can buy. So I'm going to re-roll and hope for a Spirit Heart somewhere in 3... Go. Oh, come on. That is so sad. What else we rerolled to? Oh, if I could have got nail tears, that would have been awesome. I mean, yeah, relatively it's just a little bit of a damage up, but I do love the nail tears. I really do. So, I don't know. We've got a nice amount of health, definitely. We're going to go back down to... Actually, no, 14 is our current just base level damage. That's pretty damn Excellent. But yeah, I know what you're thinking. You know, you could recount lots of games as being truth, and you would probably come off as a crazy person, but I think Isaac is definitely in the top 5. It's kind of a champion level, that. Not that I ever was like, there's going to be a competition to see who can sound the most insane the fastest, because if there was, I mean, I've already got that on lockdown. I've been secretly training for years, apparently, without realizing it. That would be an awesome thing to happen. Something that's, you know, not terribly useful that you can do, suddenly becoming a worldwide recognized sport and competition, and then you are just absolutely fine. Alright, talking of fine, we're kind of destroying Mr. Greed here, which is wonderful. I mean, I'm not taking any damage because I shouldn't deliberately take damage, I don't think. That doesn't make too much sense, but every time we do, it just makes the fight easier and easier and easier. I kind of want to save my Mega Blast for the second phase, which is why I am doing, because I think that'll be the best use of it, and then after that I've got my Algis to hopefully finish him off. So I'd say as long as I have at least 6 hearts left by the time we get to Golden, it should be, well, golden. So I'm hoping for the best here. I'm hoping that my skills can succeed. I'm hoping that Greed won't open his mouth and start talking with the voice of my mother, because that would definitely be freaky. God, actually, yeah, if you're playing a game and someone in it, like an NPC that was voiced, just started talking with the uncanny resemblance of a family member, would you even question that? What would you even do? Would you look it up? Would you ring them up and ask? Would you play it back and hear it? What if no one knew? That would be such a weird thing, like such a small thing, I would say, like relatively, as far as weird occurrences go. That would be such a small thing to happen, but I feel like that would kind of deeply affect a person. Like, come on now. You're playing Witcher, and Geralt, instead of his usual gruff witchery self, just sounds like your little brother. It's probably something going on there. Alright, careful, careful, careful. We are nearly at the improved golden form. Because I don't know why he does turn into gold. You know how inflexible and relatively soft gold is as a metal? I mean, it's just not something that you want to coat yourself in as a source of armor. It's really, really not. Careful, Greed. Looking wonderful. And slap, 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 slap. And here we go. Here we go. The real question is, how much damage is Mega Blast even going to do here? I guess, without further ado, let's find out. And let's find out. You're going to land? Nope, you're just going to keep jumping. It's like he's trying to deliberately dodge my Mega Blast, the bastard. I'm a little bit upset by this, but no, it does seem to be doing a distinctly large amount of damage. Yeah, I can't really deny that was very, very good. We've still got quite a bit of damage to gain from Bloody Lust. We're not fully red in the face yet. Gotta dodge those explosions. Definitely getting better. I say that as I get hit at fighting Ultra Greed. I would say just, ow, that was a poor decision. And by poor decision, I mean, of course, that was tactical damage, just to increase our damage even more. Wow, we are actually getting 5 damage per one now, so I'm just going to kind of stand in his face and absolutely obliterate him for 45 seconds. I think that works out very nice. 33 is a healthy number to be slamming down on really anything except the Hush in this game. Come on, Ultra Greed, accept your pain. Your lovely golden tuchus is going down. Again, a sentence you'll not find anywhere else. My name has been Rage. Like you've enjoyed this Samsung run of fun. Stem cell. So not multiple, just the single stem cell. Alright then. Hopefully it's better than its brethren item, but we shall see. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time. Oh, good boy.